that was helpful. Just to, both from an experiential thing, I think one of the reasons I love that exercise that Rachel led us through with the photos is just one, how each of us can resonate with the same exact photo in a different way. Like, and what you took out of it might not have been what I took about it, but I just find it can sometimes begin to allow you to have words for something that you wouldn't otherwise have. Like if I just said, okay, what's a resource, like an obstacle in your life, you're like, but it's like, which of these resonates as an obstacle? There's a deeper part of us that's activated through that. And so similarly, what we want to do for the homework is, in addition to asking these questions of what are the obstacles to the different spheres of your life, either currently experienced or ones that you sort of anticipate, like, hey, as I keep moving forward, I think I see a potential hurdle, right? Like, to use Amanda's metaphor when she thought of obstacles like the Olympics and the hurdles, it's like, you might have jumped over one, you're like, okay, that was one right there, tripped it, nicked my knee, I'm a little unbalanced now, and there's another one coming. How do I see those, anticipate those? I will just say, just even from my own experience, I start to find, oh, there's like an obstacle in this realm, and it's actually dominoing into other spheres. So you might find even some relationships between the obstacles of, this is actually the bigger obstacle that's starting to interfere with other dimensions of my life. So don't feel like you have to literally have 12 obstacles. You might find, no, there's 5 in this one, and it's actually them influencing these others. But the homework is that we encourage you to do, and I'm gonna pull out some modeling clay before you all leave, but encourage you to grab some modeling clay that we've provided. Also feel free to use Play-Doh, like whatever you want. But the idea is that as you are, similar to the picture thing, as you're considering obstacles in your life, to either model it, which is something that Eric will illustrate in a second, or in my case, I decided to actually put the object of my obstacle into the modeling clay. So what I did was, as I shared a little bit earlier, I just am right now in a place where I'm seeing the invitation of something new or next or achievable that actually isn't what I'm craving, but it allows that quick hit. Is it embodied in Amazon? It's an apolitical statement, but it is, I just see it, Amazon, the personification of dopamine instant gratification. But what I did actually with the modeling clay is I made it into a clock, so it's a little time, and so I just feel like it ends up taking up time. And ruminations on it and all the rest. But what I would encourage you all to do, what I'm going to do, is a way to help remind myself of this obstacle, because as we named, to name it is to tame it, to at least just keep it in the forefront of my mind. This is something, right now, in my clarity of mind, I'm naming this is an obstacle in my life. And it's so easy to name it, and then it's off your radar, and you go back to the ways that you're behaving. And I want to know, I'm going to put this, my encouragement would be, do the exercise and find some place to put it as a little bit of a reminder, a token of, hey, this is a hurdle in my life right now, and I just want to remind myself this is an obstacle, and I don't want to continue these patterns. I don't want to keep using the same pieces I've used over and over and again. I want to think about this differently. So I'm actually choosing, I put my canvas up of my dream, and I'm going to put this next to it, because I want to remind myself, this is what I'm craving. What I know is the deeper, truer thing that I want in my life, in my family, is this dream. And this is one thing that I'm naming. It might not even be the deepest thing, but it's part of my story that I want to address and find a change in. And to do that collectively and collaboratively. So that's my exercise illustration, but Eric can go ahead and also share. This is another way to think about it.
So, my wife helped me with this because I was having trouble. But this is supposed to represent a figure in running, but he does not have a head, as you can see. There's a point to that. But basically, for me, this captures the idea of avoidance. Avoiding what's uncomfortable, avoiding what's hard, avoiding what is maybe the thing I know to be good, or I know to be whatever, it's what I want, but it's going to take a lot of time, and maybe I'm tired, and it actually connects with some of what Lane was saying, but my tendency is to avoid and escape into other things. And so And generally there's no head because there's no direction to that. It's all just moving away from the direction I want to go. And so I'm basically headless, just avoiding, just doing whatever it might be. And it could be good things that I'm engaging in, but it's ultimately avoiding the things that I deeply want or I deeply need. And so I almost did a brain, as in like my own brain is my biggest obstacle. But this idea of avoidance being sort of my habit of avoidance being my biggest obstacle toward my dream. So there you go.
So again, hopefully it's just a way to engage, to not just treat it as a logical exercise, but to relate to it in a tangible way. Again, some of you might have like, no, my obstacle is already very tangible. For me, dopamine hit, instant gratification is very much in my head. So it's just a way for me, a token reminder of this is what I want to work against. This is what I'm going after the next couple of months. But encourage you to work on that, involve significant others, involve your community. Obviously, we'll bring it back here and share it next month. But yeah, Rachel has sort of final remarks on that, and we'll close this out.